Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So with 15 minutes I have actually prepared a longer talk, but I will try to go through it fast. Allah Ta'ala gave us this deen of Islam. It is a revolutionary deen. It has, Allah Ta'ala gave Allama al-insana ma lam ya'lam. So the knowledge that was given was revolutionary. And today it is still revolutionary, but Muslims do not have appreciated. So what is the crisis according to the Quran? It comes from the deeds of men. If we human beings do bad things, this will lead to crisis. So what is the source of the crisis? It is the bad deeds of human beings. And in Hadith Qudsi it is said that our amal, they go to the heavens and Allah Ta'ala's decisions come down. And so the crises are the consequences of our deeds. So Allah Ta'ala also provides us with the solution to this problem. He says that can we change things? Allah Ta'ala will not change the things until we change ourselves. So the solution is inside ourselves. And one very important thing to mention here is that we are all influenced by Western ideas, and the West is never thinking about the heart of man. They are always thinking about how to change the external circumstances, how to put the laws and how to change the institutions, but not how to change the people. So the Prophet ﷺ, he came and he changed the people. He took them out from the ignorance and darkness into the light. And this is also what the Quran says, that the Iman will take you from the darkness to the light. So we are working on entirely different dimensions when it comes to the solution. And if we look for the solution in the outside world, when the problem is in the heart of man, then we cannot find a solution. So how will we create social change? So as the previous ayat says, that the change has to start with the individual, the human being. Once we change the individual, then we change the larger unit, which is the community, it is the family, neighborhood. Then we go to the macro level, the governments, the ummah, the humanity. But the key driver of change in Islamic perspective is the community, which is the meso-economics, which is not mentioned in the textbooks. In textbooks you have micro and you have macro, but you don't have the meso. So the main driver of change is missing. So how can we change individuals? Well, for that we have the perfect example, our Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, and he is a good example not just as a human being, that we have to emulate him, but also as a creator of social change. He carried out the most revolutionary change in the history of man. So if we want to study how to produce change, we have to study how our Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, how he produced change. He changed the ignorant and backward Bedouin to the leaders of the world, and the teachings of Islam created a civilization which enlightened the world with knowledge for 1,000 years. So, how to start this revolution? Well, at the very beginning, when the deen was getting started and the Muhajirin moved to Medina, and so basically set up the first Islamic community, Allah Ta'ala mentions that Allah Ta'ala put the love in the hearts of the Muslims. And this love is more precious than all of the treasures of the world. Today what we are doing, we are trying to maximize GNP per capita. But Allah Ta'ala says that the love in the hearts is more precious than all of the treasures of the world. So this is the thing to strive for. Now one thing to understand is that crisis is a natural state for this dunya. Some people especially, we are looking for results. We want to make this earth into Jannah. But this earth cannot be turned into Jannah, because it is a place for trial, for fitna. And the Jannah is in Jannah. So here we are for trial. So crisis will happen, is not something that we can prevent. The crisis is meant for a purpose. It is meant for a purpose which Allah Ta'ala says that I know something you do not know. And what is the purpose of the crisis? It is to train us. So, today, because of Western influence, we are looking for success in this dunya. We want to have success, we want to avoid crisis, we want to maximize wealth, we want to maximize utility. All of this is illusion. The success of this world is an illusion. The real success is the success of the akhirah. So, very important thing that we are not working to create the goal. We are working so that to obey the orders of Allah, and then we can succeed at reaching the goal. We can be ghazi or we can fail, be shaheed. In both cases we are successful. So this is very important. So we have to work regardless of and obey the orders of Allah, and when we obey, that is success already. It doesn't depend on whether the crisis is resolved or not. So today we are fighting phantom problems, the wrong problems, and we are relying on the wrong friends. And basically today all over the Islamic world people are looking to the Western knowledge for solutions, the Western institutions, the Western paradigms. And Allah Ta'ala says, مَا لَكُمْ مِدُونِهِ مِنْ وَلِيٍّ وَلَا شَفِيعٍ. We must look to Allah for the solution of our problems. So I have written a paper which is referenced here, which says that basically why are we here? You are here, we are here, we have only short life. What is the purpose of this life? It is to achieve spiritual progress. We have this nafs ammara, then if we work hard we can get to nafs al-lawwama, and if we work even harder we can get to nafs mutmainna. So this is the goal for individual transformation. So now if you think about it, modern economic theory is all about nafs ammara. It's all about how to make the nafs happy. Maximization of utility, what is it? Nafs ammara. We are not concerned with nafs ammara. This is the worst kind of human. So we need to make, those who have studied economics, they know that there is something called positive economics, which is descriptive, and there is normative, which is the ideals. So Islam works in 3 dimensions. We say, okay, positive, describe what we are like. So we are not like ideal Muslims, we know that. Then there is the ideal, which is the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then there is the third part, which is the most important, the transformative aspect. How do we change from nafs ammara to nafs mutmainna? So this is the crux. How do we create change? So the thing to do is exactly the opposite of what microeconomic theory teaches. Microeconomic theory says that you should maximize your utility. But Allah Ta'ala tells us that if you like something, give it away for the sake of Allah. So this is minimize your utility. You fight against the nafs and you fight to implement the orders of Allah. So what is the solution to the climate crisis? Well, it has been recognized by secular people that we cannot, the amount of consumption is too high. Each person is consuming about 8 to 10 hectares. There is not enough room on the earth to achieve those lifestyles. So today if we want to all act like rich people, then the planet will run out of resources. So the solution is the opposite. Instead of trying to increase our GNP, we should try to reduce our standard of living and live simple lives like the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And we should not envy each other. This is the reason that we are trying to get higher lifestyle. We see somebody has big house, big car, and we say, okay, we want to be like that. So this is not recommended by Allah Ta'ala because it is all hawa, idle desires, which will lead you to Jahannam. So it has been discovered that the more you get, it doesn't make you happier. and the Easterlin paradox, countries have achieved massively huge standards of living. They have very, very high consumption. But does it make them happy? No. Why? It's very simple. Eating and drinking does not give us long-term happiness. It just gives us a short-term pleasure. Long-term happiness depends on character and social relationships. So now, when we talk in this way, then people often come back and object, like, if we start working with individuals, the goal will never be completed. We will never become perfect human beings, so we will never actually start working on social change. So Islam has a unique solution to this problem. It says social change doesn't happen by going into the cave and doing meditation. Rahbaniyat is not recommended in Islam. Social change, the individual change comes by struggling with the problem. We see the problem, we see poverty, we go and we try to help people. And in this process of helping, we will get spiritual change. So we are simultaneously working on our heart and on the dunya. So now, actually, if you study how did the dunya become in this current condition? So it is not that it has always been like this. In the Europe, there was something which is called the Great Transformation. They also had a society which was built on Christian morality. And Christian morality has generosity, cooperation, social responsibility. But through a long and complicated process, this was changed into an economy where it's a market society. Everything is for sale. So when everything is for sale, then money is the highest good. So today, if you ask the children of the Muslims, what is your goal in life? They will say it is to make money. Because this is what we have been trained into believing. Now this is the wrong thing to do, but this is, yes, okay. Yeah. So the Great Transformation took place in all dimensions. It was political, economic, social, environmental, and epistemological. The theory of knowledge was changed. So today we have to, and this is the system which is dominant in the world, and everybody is being taught this system by the Western education. So today we have to undo this revolution. So communities are the drivers of change. How do we build strong communities? We have to focus on the families. This is the core social unit. In the families we create training of the individuals. And today the family is under attack because all of the media, the Hollywood, etc., they are showing things about pursuit of pleasure, basically nafs. And if you pursue nafs, family is built on sacrifice. And so the family cannot survive unless we counterattack. And this is something that is very being neglected. So this is the first priority. The traditional Islamic family is built on sacrifices of women. Now today in the modern world, we cannot go back to the old models. We have to change the model. So this is a very important thing that we need to do today for the survival of the family, is to create a new model for the Islamic family. It cannot be the Western model, but it also cannot be the older Islamic model. So this is something which is of high priority for the intellectuals of the Ummah to engage. So from the family we go to the neighborhood, and the neighborhood Islam has a lot of hadiths and about how to take care of your neighbors, and the masjid as the meeting place. And so the masjid and the Jummah is the larger meeting, Eid is even larger, and Eid al-Adha is the meeting place of the Ummah. So there are natural ways of organizing, but today these are just formalities. Today we are not using these to unite the Ummah. So the principles of the Islamic economy are diametrically opposed to the principles of capitalism. Islam and capitalism are opposites. Okay, so this is the next to last slide. I have given theoretical foundations elsewhere. I have given macro prescriptions elsewhere, which is I mentioned. But let's say what can we do, take away from today. So what I would like to say is that we are thinking at the wrong level. We should think at the level that we can work, you and I, as individuals. So solve one problem instead of worrying about 1,000 problems and not doing anything. Create change in your own community. You can change things. You can change 10 lives. There is a financial crisis in your neighborhood. Some people are poor, suffering. Help them. Solve the environmental crisis in your neighborhood. There is garbage. There is recycling needed. Do something about it. And so this is the thing, that take the action what you can do, because in Islam we have farz kifaya. Everybody is responsible. You are responsible for what you can do. So do what you can do and let others do what they can do. And so this is the last slide. Inna salati wa nusuki wa mahyaya wa mamati lillahi rabbil alameen. If we devote our struggles and our efforts and our worship and our living and our dying to Allah Rabbul Alameen, Allah Ta'ala will guide us to the pathways.
Thank you very much, Asad.